Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Divine Libra Wisdom. Coming back with the elemental readings for air signs for July 2025. Sorry, these are a little bit late because we're a few days into July already. So, yeah, that means it would be a little bit late, but better late than never. Also, let me get my little things out of the way. If you hear the AC in the background, it's a little loud, but I'm going to try to speak over it, and hopefully, the sound is okay. But yeah, if I think things get too loud, I will stop or try to adjust or something like that. Also, if you hear some howling or anything in the background, there's a little munchkin in the background, a little dog, my cousin's dog, so I've changed locations. So, yeah, if you hear it in the background, that's the little doggy. And he's missing his mom because she just left. So, that you might hear a little howling or a little bit in the background. But, yeah, hopefully it's not too loud. Also, all the card decks that I use, it'll be in the description box. I have that. Also, a Patreon is coming soon, and all the good stuff, and Discord. I'm trying to get that all together and do a crash course on how to kind of work with Discord. I'm fairly new to it, so yeah, I'm trying to do all those things. Like the video, share the video if you think it's beneficial as you listen through, and leave me comments, if it's resonating as you listen through as well. Also subscribe, that way you get notified when I drop a new video. Eventually when I go live, I'll be doing that at some point, and maybe pulling cards for people, just to hang out, have a good time, and you all get to know me a little bit better. And what else? Yeah, you can listen to more than one of the videos. You don't have to listen to just for your sun sign placement, but listen to all of your placements across the elements. All right, so as you can see by the picture that you're looking at, you have we're going to go through the tarot first, and also, you may see some heart or flower emojis over certain cards because I can't show those because it's not YouTube friendly, so that's why they're there. But anyway, so we're going to go through the tarot first. The first card we have out is the World. The World card deals with completion, success, and endings of a long drawn out situation, and fulfillment. So perhaps at the start of this month, you all have completed something that you've been working on, or completed a cycle of some sort, whether it be like a relationship, a friendship, or something like that. And it could have been a long time coming. I get the sense of I'm hearing like sigh of relief, or a breath of sigh of relief, or breath of relief, or whatever, however you want to say it. Yeah, like exhale, you're exhaling. I don't know, maybe that movie Waiting to Exhale could be significant for some of y'all. Maybe y'all just watched it, or you are reenacting scenes of it from that movie, because I know a lot of times, especially within the Black community, we will recite the lines from those movies, or from that movie rather. So Waiting to Exhale is one of those movies that we do that. So I don't know why that came out, or why it popped in my head, but I'm gonna say what I get, what pops into my mind, what I get a download from. So yeah, I'm also feeling like with the World card, I get the sense of someone giving back their time, like volunteering. You could be maybe feeding the homeless, or the houseless rather, or maybe devoting your time, because I'm also seeing like some kind of coaching like a league a little league or something like that, the little kids, something to that effect. It's also summertime, so a lot of people, maybe volunteering for summer camps, that type of thing. Yeah. And I'm just trying to see if I get anything else from the world card. I don't know, whenever I see the world card, sometimes it makes me think of travel too, because the world. So, perhaps a lot of people could be traveling, especially since it is summer, kids are out of school, and people are wanting to take vacations. So, that could be significant, as well as with the Queen of Cups, King of Cups out too. That's I don't know. I'm seeing water, even though hold on, because I'm getting something. Yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of water in some of these cards, because even over to the right, you have the Divine Reflections affirmation card, and there it's like mermaids in some water. And so that makes me think. And then I also see, it looks like the Queen of Cups looks like she's on like a beach, and even the King of Cups, he's sitting there on the throne, like in the middle of some water. So yeah, I feel like this is international travel that I'm thinking about, maybe, but some of you may be going to like a beach, something like tropical, something near water, tropical. So yeah. Yeah, I just get, air signs. Air signs, you may be getting ready to travel somewhere internationally, and it could be overseas. Well, international, overseas is the same thing, but yeah, but I'm getting beach, or you're going to be near water, and water could be significant. Maybe you need to go sit by the water, like a lake, or the ocean, like I mentioned, beach time. Maybe even going to sit by a pool would be beneficial for you. Maybe some of you have water placements. Maybe some of you you have water placements. Maybe you should listen to the water signs video. There may be messages in there for you. But at any rate, let's go into what the Queen of Cups is about. So the Queen of Cups is about emotional regulation, maturity, intuition, and compassion. And so a lot of you, with something that you just completed, or a cycle that has just ended, maybe you're more in a state of, your emotional regulation, where you've, allowed yourself to sort of go through the process of dealing with that, like grieving. And funny enough, we have down at the bottom under the world card, we have the Allah grief card. So maybe, this, with it aligning with the world, you have dealt with a lot of grief when it comes to a certain situation. Maybe something ending caused you a lot of grief, even though you were able to sort of get over it, or not get over it necessarily, but kind of get through it. You're processing, and you were able to shed your tears, feel the feelings, but now you're in a place where you feel a lot better. So yeah. And with our next, also water is it's all about emotions. And so, maybe with the international trip that you take, maybe this is also, helpful to your healing. You can sort of get away from, what it is you just completed. You can get away from that and just sort of give yourself a break and give yourself time to relax and recuperate and all that other stuff. So yeah, I don't really get much else from the Queen of Cups. Except that, also with the Queen of Cups, it's about, compassion, like I mentioned. So this is having compassion for yourself, and giving yourself a much needed break, giving yourself what it is that you need to sustain and get yourself to a better place. And I feel like for air signs this month, whatever it is that you have been going through, you are in a better place. You kind of went through grief, and now you're at this the point where you can sort of, you feel good again, you feel better. Instead of isolating, because a lot of times when we're going through things, we isolate, especially for air signs. We do that isolation thing. We keep things to ourselves. And I say we because I am an air sign. I'm a Libra, so obviously. But yeah, and I also have water placement, so that's funny. So yeah, you guys are really trusting in your intuition this month, and you're getting a lot of, I see air signs getting a lot of downloads, especially mental ones, because we are really, we get really in our heads, if that makes sense, and we analyze things and have to process things, especially for like Libras. We're all about balance, so we're weighing options, we're thinking things through and looking at all possible outcomes of things. With Aquarius, they're more so I feel like they more so are technical with their thought process. They're more direct, more blunt, they're able to sort of plan things out and act that way. Geminis, they may, sort of talk, because they're all about communication, and so they will sort of, speak or talk their way through it. Whereas, Libras, again, they will analyze and sort of think things through. Aquarius, they're more so, in my opinion, they sort of kind of mirror or match the two. They usually do that together, and sort of go about it that way. They could be, using technology more so like writing, even though Gemini is, talks about like communication. But I feel like with Geminis, they more so speak. Aquarius is, they do more of the writing, in my opinion. And Libras, we think things through and we act accordingly before we, make a move. But anyway, enough of the breakdown of that. Going to the Queen of Cups, and I find it, I find it kind of funny that the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups came out. So that makes me think even more that maybe, with the King and Queen out, this could be whatever completion or ending of some sort. Maybe this is like a ending of a relationship, and it could have been with a water sign or someone who has water sign placements, or it's just the King and the Queen. Maybe a marriage ended, maybe a relationship ended, a friendship ended, something like that. But yeah, going on to the King of Cups. This is all about wisdom, balance, compassion again, protection. So, whatever it is you're, ending and you're moving into, it's protected. You don't have to worry. Whatever moves you're trying to make, plans you have, you're protected as well. So, yeah, if there was some worry, you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the bottom row a little bit more, and as it connects with the tarot. So with the world and grief, I briefly touched on it already, and yeah, I feel strongly that a lot of air signs are, have sort of dealt with their grief, or they could still be in grief, and you're sort of dealing with a cycle that just ended, that and it could have been something, or it could have been something where like it ended abruptly, and you're trying to make sense of it, or at least you sort of dealt with that, and now you're sort of like focused. You're shifting your focus, and you're trying to figure out how to move forward. And then going on to rebirth, or Imbuyu. I think that's how you say that. Ninanda. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say some of these words or some of these names. So if I butcher it, I do apologize. I'm working on it. So this is rebirth, and a radical rebirth. I'm sorry. And so, this puts me in the mind of the Strength card in the original tarot. Because with the lady standing there and the lions or tigers or whatever those are. Well, I think it's like a lion and a tiger, it looks like. Okay, no, they're both just lions. Sorry about that. Yeah, they're both just lions. But anyway, it just makes me think of the Strength card, like I said. I just this time frame right now, especially with the King of Cups, of having compassion, emotional regulation. You learn from your mistakes in the past. You've learned from the situations you were in, and now you're on the path of radical rebirth. And I mentioned taking like an international trip that could be in the works for you. It may not necessarily be this month, but it could be like coming up for you. This could be for some the first time you travel solo by yourself, or maybe you do end up going with a group or a family, and it sort of helps or aids in that rebirthing of you, if that makes sense. And so when we get down to the King of Cups and wisdom, balance, compassion, and protection, it's sort of like an extension of the Queen of Cups, in my opinion. But with how it relates to Erazuli Dantor, etheric cords, you're sort of cutting cords. You are allowing yourself to release all that didn't serve you. You're over it, or you're over it, or at least you're getting over it. In order to get through it. And so with etheric cords, especially with Erazuli Dantor out there, she's a protector of children and women. So, maybe this could have been a situation where you needed to get out of an abusive situation, and now you're at a point where, or now you're in a better place. And so, I just feel like for the month of July, air signs, you all are, you have went through your grief, or all the stages of grief. You are in a state of compassion for yourself. You trusted your intuition. You've grown, you matured, and now, you have that wisdom, and you're back in balance to where you know how to move, make moves, and you know how to, leave situations, or maybe you've realized that a situation needed to come to an end. That could also be the case if this has not happened for you just yet. All right, so the affirmation card, or that I have over to the side, it says Divine Reflections, and it says, our triggers are our teachers. We are all mirrors for each other. And so I really feel like, again, with the etheric cords and wisdom, this means reflecting, you're changing, you have those reflections, you went through all possible scenarios, all outcomes, you've analyzed the situation, and now you have the wisdom, the intelligence, to where what to do, you know how to move, how to what it is you want to do. And I feel like I got the same sort of messages from the water sign reading and the fire sign reading. So maybe you all may want to go check those out. You may have those types of have those placements. So yeah. So yeah, I feel like that's all I'm getting for you, air signs. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Like the video, share, comment, leave me comments in the section or description or comment section, and let me know what resonated, if it did, and what it is that resonated. Subscribe to the channel so that you know when I drop new videos. New Patreon coming soon. Discord, working on that. If you need to ask me any questions, or if you want to reach out to me for a reading, I'm very affordable, and I have a quick turnaround. So yeah, I think I got all of my announcements out of the way. I feel like this air signs is very short and sweet compared to the other cards. Seemed like I kind of rambled on, but oh well, that it is what it is. But this has been your reading for July 2025. Come back for next month, and I will see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.